Today we're going to talk about the rule of 12. Now a lot of people when they chip, they immediately go for one of these things, like a wedge, and they actually end up fluffing a lot of shots because it's easy to do. They do that for two reasons, which I'm going to explain during the course of this video. But number 5, if you hang on to number 5, you will see, if you're a senior golfer, number 5 is a secret one. It's like a secret weapon, like a superpower. Watch and you'll see. So let's have a look. Most people grab this. This is a wedge. And tension, if there's one thing that kills chipping and putting, it's tension. So if you see people gripping it tight, or their arms are very tight, what you tend to find is, I watch a lot of people doing this, they stand up and they look to chip and they kind of go at it and they almost fluff it. Now that's no bad, I can't help myself, I just hit good chips. What I want to show you is a kind of different way of doing these things. A way that's much more repeatable and that works, and it's not quick, and it follows the same scenario as we talked about in the last video, which is taking tension out of the game. It's actually being loose, it's allowing yourself to move in a kind of almost like a gentle manner. It's like you just get out your own way. And so if you do that in chipping, you end up, you've basically got a scenario whereby you are, let me line myself up properly and then we can talk about that. But you're giving yourself every chance of success. So you're just gently back and then gently through. So you're back and you're through. And then you've got a nice little shot like that. And that's a chip. Now that is with a wedge. I'm going to, and so you've got to have a good technique for that. You've got to aim properly, and you've got to be able to crisp when you're striking it. So that's like an outcome that's acceptable. You want that kind of outcome because your next shot is then like a little tap in. What we want to talk about though is we want to talk specifically about how you handle different types of chip shots, because for this chip shot, wedge is actually not a bad idea. Just gently just kind of going through, flinging it half the way up and then let it release, which is what's happened there. But there are other circumstances where that's not what you want. So where the flag is further away, like Ewan, can you see those flags over there? I work on the basis of like a rule of 12, and it's like it's an important thing, but it served me pretty well. So if you can subtract, Ewan, can you subtract from 12? Maybe, okay, we'll leave that with you. So if you can subtract the number of the club from 12, every club in your bag, and think of this one as 10 because it's a pitch and wedge. So you go, typically you might have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, pitch and wedge, sand wedge, cat wedge, whatever. You have numbers for all of these things. So if you are wanting to throw the ball up in the air, and we'll kind of show you how to do that in a bit, but then that would be like a really lofted club, which would be like maybe an 11 or a 12 in this scenario, where you would look to knock it up in the air, have it then land very softly. But if you've got something that's far away, like these flags over here, that's not the percentage shot. Right? And again, in golf, we're looking about taking tension out of it. We're also looking about taking risk out of it. And so what we're thinking in terms of is actually taking, so for something that we're going to run like to there, if I think I was going to take an 8 iron because I want to get the ball onto the green and get it rolling, because that's the most probable way of getting a decent result, right? Then I would basically take my number 12, take 8 off it, that leaves 4. What that means is that for every bit of flight, you're going to have 4 times of roll. So if it's a 7 iron, right, you take 7 from 12, you're left with 5. You agree with that, Ewan? Right, okay, Ewan agrees. So we're doing the math okay. So we then fly it for 1 and roll it for 5, because that's kind of how it works. So if we have a 9 iron, then we roll it for 1, we fly it for 1, and then we roll it for 3. And so when you look at things and you think, okay, in this, that works on the basis of it being a flat thing. You've got to make adjustments if you've got slopes. So in this slope, for example, I would think of an 8 iron, because this is going uphill. I would want my 8 iron, bear with me Ewan, just watch what I'm going to do. So I'm looking to roll my 8 iron, because it slopes that way, I'm wanting my 8 iron to land somewhere round about here. And then it releases and rolls up and follows the line down. Now what would be a good shot in this one, because this has got quite a severe slope here, I don't want to be like my first stress chip that I did there. I'm going to pick these up now actually. My first stress tip leaves me a very difficult putt. Whereas my second chip is really close because there was no tension in it and I landed it where I wanted to land it and then the rest came away. So let me pick these up. So the object of every chip, really, when we think about it, is to stop us taking any more than 2 putts. Ideally we want a chip and a putt, but we definitely don't want a chip and a 3 putt. And so the important thing then is to really think about the club that you take. So in this one I'm looking at here and I'm thinking I'm going uphill, so I want to use something that gets me, because my philosophy is wherever possible, the riskless, the shot with the least risk is actually getting on and allowing it to roll. And so when we think about it in those terms, I just think, okay, I get it on, I'm going uphill. This is a 9 iron, so I've moved from the wedge, which is the last one, because I'm now going uphill. So again, no tension, and all I'm looking for in this one is, again, just hands forward, no tension in the club, gently back, gently through. I'm trying to land it just onto the green and have it roll up the hill, short of the hole, so that my next shot is an easy one, and I give myself a chance. So okay, it's like 2 or 3 feet, that's fine. Slightly right of the flag. So again, as we're thinking, it's like if that's on the course, I'm happy with that because I've got a reasonably straight putt. Just coming along the green. Oh, and that's what can go wrong. But if you've got the right club and it goes wrong, guess what? I've given myself 6 feet straight up the hill and I'm kind of okay with that. So just nice and gentle, concentrate on giving it a good strike, ball just getting in the way of the club, and we're going back and through. And unfortunately we got that one because that was probably the best one so far. So when you're thinking of these things, think in terms of getting it on the green and allowing it to roll out towards the flag, and then adjust for the situation. So if you're going uphill, you're allowing for more roll. How often have you been faced with this shot and thought, oh God, you're short of the bunker, but the pin is just over the other side? So this is another one where you can use exactly that same rule of 12 mentally, because you can go with as much loft as you can, and so you know the club you're going to have to take is quite easy. You're looking for a shot that gets it up and gets it stopping fairly quickly. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how often this happens and what most golfers do, and then I'm going to show you how to play it. So a lot of people, when they do this type of thing, they stand up to it, they're a bit nervous because they've got this big cavern of sand in front and that's all they think about, and they're telling themselves, don't put it in the bunker, don't put it in the bunker, don't put it in the bunker. What do? Most of the time, they play the shot like they stand up, they're a bit tense, they know the kind of technique that they've got to be over the ball and they've got to be, they've got to swing through, but they just chunk it. And so they basically go back and then they decelerate down and they chunk it and it ends up in the bunker, which is not what we want. What we're looking to do, we'll let our friend get out of the way here. Okay, it's just loose, open, accelerate. Loose, open, accelerate. And there you have it. Oh, nearly hold it. It's actually not that hard a shot to do. It's easy to chunk it, but the key thing is be loose, take tension out of your shot, accelerate, and so long as you accelerate and keep going, so don't quit on yourself, that shot's quite easy. Okay, next up, bunker shots. How do we deal with these? Exactly the same way as the last chip. Loose, open, accelerate. Make sure you follow through. If you only think about one thing in a bunker, it's this: follow through. Watch what I mean. So you get yourself set, you open your club face up, and then you just accelerate through the ball, nice and loose. Stay loose and back and out, nice and easy. Okay, just do the next couple. Roll the sand off, give ourselves a chance. Up, over, and there we go. And if you swing through it at pace, you get the ball to stop and behave itself, which is what is done there. And so you're effectively just up, over, nice and loose, and over. And that's how you play bunker shots. It's nothing hard about it at all. It's the fear that gets you on bunker shots. So if all else fails, and even if it doesn't all fail, but you want something that is repeatable, that's a great tool, use this fella. Use your recovery club for chipping. Particularly where you've got this. This is close enough that you think maybe you could putt this, but then you've got so much junk in the way that a putt would be very difficult. So you can do this short, you can do it long. The key thing is no tension and just nudge. You just think in terms of, you can use the same rule, but this time it's like you hardly need to hit it at all. It's just a case of back and through. You will never ever duff one of these. You might hit it too far, you might not, you might be thinking in terms of anything, but you'll never ever duff it. And that for a lot of people is important. I've told a lot of my friends this over the years. This is how you should play these chips. Just moving them out. And it almost doesn't matter what the lie is. And okay, it's on a big slope and it's going to go, but I've now got a nice uphill putt that's coming back. So this is something that you can use in addition from off the tee, you can use it around the green. It's very, very versatile club. Any lie can be sitting rubbish like this one sat down, and you can be thinking in terms of, let's just give it a little nudge forward. And even if you kind of semi-duff it because the lie's rubbish, it's far better than you'd get if you hit a chip and you just stubbed it into the ground. So, this is a club that is it's a good friend of mine, round about the green. And Sam, see these even wee delicate shots, they're really good for that, where you just nudge it forward and get it going, get it moving. And if you've got to go over a lot of rubbish before you actually get it, and maybe not necessarily use it for this on the course, but here just showing the thing, just let it go through there and then roll down. Go on. Pretty cool. Good club. Keep using it. If you like this idea and you like this idea of playing golf in that manner, then please support the channel. It'd be great for us if you could subscribe. You'll see when all our things come up. We post every week, we put shorts up every day, and we have a lot of fun doing it. So it'd mean the world to us if you just if you did that. In the meantime, play great golf.